Class is in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC Guy, and TradeFly bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to Piper Academy. Today we got a great show lined up for you. Bitcoin fighting right now at a key level. We've got Ethereum sitting over $3,400. We're getting moves from ICP, from Ondo, WIF, AGIX, QNT, and a whole lot more. Plus, who's buying all this Bitcoin on the dip? We're going to be looking at that today on Piper Academy, guys. Classes in session. Let's get it. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Piper Academy. This is the show that comes at you every Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Thanks for joining us today. Shout out to the alumni in the chat. But I don't do this show by myself, guys. I've got an amazing team that helped me pull all this together to bring you guys the best quality content we can. Guys, let's go ahead and bring them up. It's my co-host. It's the OC Guy and TradeFly. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, guys? How was the weekend?
The weekend was great. I went to the
Shocking.
British Virgin
Everyone's
Islands.
like, he asked a question. Well, I'll tell you about mine.
I went to the British Virgin Islands.
It was just completely quiet. So anyway, yeah, man. Weekend was cool. Got to go home, mix it up with the kiddos a little bit, played some games. Had a lot of that one-on-one time, which was pretty nice. Much needed. So, yeah. How about you guys?
That is awesome, man. I went to the British Virgin Islands and went swimming on one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen. Got to see a little small sea turtle swimming around there. My wife was chilling with a little baby goat, not a billy goat. That's a whole different guy. But a little billy goat. She got to hang out with him. We got some pictures and stuff. We'll be posting them on the Discord later. It was pretty cool though. But OC, how was your weekend, man?
It was pretty busy. We went to do some maintenance on the house. Also, my father-in-law, mother-in-law came visiting. So, yeah, we did a couple of activities. We went dinner. We went, having lunch, and basically just stay together and, chill out.
Nice. Very nice, man. Sounds like a great weekend. You know what else happened this weekend? We did some stuff on the Bitcoin chart, and I'm going to be showing everybody that we talked about on Friday. We talked about a couple of alts, and we talked about what I would like to see Bitcoin do, and Bitcoin did that thing. So we're going to be taking a look at that here shortly. But let's go ahead. Let's jump in, and let's get into the news that we got coming out this week. We've got a lot of big news, guys. First, right off the bat, Fear and Greed Index sitting at 75. That is, it's not bad. It's in greed. We're not in extreme greed, so that's okay there. Look at the Halving Countdown, guys. We've got 25 days to go until this halving event. We have less than 4,000 blocks on the blockchain to go. That's it. That's all there is. Every 210,000 blocks on the blockchain, we have the halving event. We are down to 3,755 days to go. So let's go. Let's jump over here, guys. Looking at the crypto bubbles for the day. We got TON up 13.3% here. We got ICP up 18.6%. Ondo, we talked about this on Friday, still up another 16.7%. NEAR's up 11.8%. Quant up 14.4%. And WIF, we got the WIF over here. Dog with hat up 14.6%. We're getting a lot of moves on some of these AI tokens, like the AGIX, that fetch there, starting to get those moves on them. I would like to see them get those nice parabolic pumps, those huge moves to the upside, try to regain some of the losses that they've had recently. But things are looking decent right now. And we'll look at the chart in a second, but liquidations, 24 hours. We got right here in the past 24 hours, 49,408 traders liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $164.2 million. Largest single liquidation happened on OKX. It was on Ethereum. Hitting a nice little $6.6 million loss there of liquidation. No big deal. Nothing major. I do want to come over here. We're going to show you guys this in my X marks the spot. We got a couple of things here that I want to show. One is going to be this right here. Can I get you to pull up for me? Thanks. This is going to be the key events for this week, guys, and we have a major one coming on Friday. First off, new home sales data is going to be coming out today. I believe it's out right now as we speak. Market's just opening up, and I think that did that about a half an hour ago. We're going to have consumer confidence data on Tuesday. Nothing major. We got GDP data coming out on Thursday. You guys remember, this is the key thing that used to be used for are we heading towards recession or not? How strong is the economy? That's going to be coming out on Thursday. But the big one, guys, is going to be Friday. PCE inflation data coming out. And if we jump over here and look at the economic calendar, you will see here that we've got, let me give a little refresh here, see if we got anything new. No, we do not. Okay, you take a look here on Friday. This is why this is going to be such a big deal for us. We got the core PCE, and this is the number one thing that the Fed Reserve looks at when they are looking at, hey, do we need to do rate cuts? How's the economy doing? Do we need to raise the rates, pause, whatever the decision may be, and those brains over there at the Fed Reserve. But right now, consensus and forecast has us scheduled for a 0.3%, 0.3%, setting the number there for the PCE on Friday. Previously, we were at 0.4. This is saying that the core prices, the core producer and consumer cost is coming down. That means we're heading back in the right direction for inflation. That is very bullish for the markets. When it starts going up, we get a little scared. That's what happened here. We got a little scared last month, had a little pullback. Now we're heading back in the right direction for inflation. So this is going to be the big one. It's going to be on Friday, and we're going to be watching out for that. And then, of course, we do have back here, there are a total of 5 Fed speakers this week. And on Friday, we got Jay Powell. He's going to be speaking. It's another busy week with stocks sitting at record high, according to the Kabisi letter. So that is what I have there on the economic calendar. There was something else in here that I wanted to show you guys. I was joking around with the team here before we started off. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. This is came from a post, and let's go back here in the history of it so I can walk you guys through this entire little conversation here. So Jason A. Williams said, breaking, Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson and Sydney Sweeney are reportedly dating, according to David Gostein Media. Okay, not sure. I'm sure I nailed that name perfectly. So the Cardano marketing team dived into the story. This was the rumor that came out, and Charles Hoskinson replied with, "Sydney wishes, have you seen my sexy fat rolls?" Now this gets a little interesting here on the story when we come back to here. Let me bring up my bookmarks again. Hold on a second. Ben Armstrong replies to, have you seen my sexy fat rolls? He says, no, I haven't, but I've seen you in front of your garden in a tight black shirt flexing. It's one of my top 5 all-time crypto photos. If I'm being honest, it's why I invested in ADA and got involved in the Cardano community. Now, here is the funny part to all of this. Charles Hoskinson, Ben Armstrong, kind of being, trying to be nice, trying to be friendly, trying to get in with that network, right? But we all know he hasn't really talked about ADA or pumped ADA as much as he has Bitcoin, XRP, and Sol, as he calls himself, the Sultan of Sol lately. How does Charles Hoskinson respond back to this? He says, let me pull it up here because this is freaking fantastic. There it is. He says to him, cocaine is a hell of a drug. That is his response back to Ben Armstrong. So, hey, even Charles Hoskinson knows, man, this makes me want to go buy ADA. Let's go out to the TriCam. I walked you guys on this little Twitter journey here. Pretty hilarious stuff there. So, guys, thoughts on Charles Hoskinson's? Like, I thought Ben was really kind of being nice there, And I will point out that Ben Armstrong's response to this, I didn't show it to you guys, but it was LMAO, send me a DM, Charles. Let's get an interview going soon. That's his response back to cocaine is a hell of a drug. So what was he being? Is this like mad points on Charles Hoskinson? Does he get status quo with this here? I just want to know what your thoughts are.
I think it's funny, but Charles is really tied in. Like if you guys don't realize, like you will catch him sometimes on spaces, like he will just show up randomly and like he will talk for a significant amount of time. Like that dude gets out there. He has his pulse on what's going on. So I think it's funny, because I think he really knew the story of Ben Armstrong and BitBoy. So I don't know.
Yeah,
What would be even better is to see if an interview were to actually happen. I doubt it will, but if it did, that would be gold, and that would be good for probably both of them.
it was hilarious though. I saw this whole
Yeah.
exchange going back and forth. I was like, oh my god. OC, what do you got on it, man? You got any input on this?
Well, not that much. I mean, we're in a bit of a public space, right? I mean, that's Twitter, and I do see both kind of like a playing out cool, especially Ben. Like, yeah, just send me an email. I mean, a DM. Let's get an interview going. But hopefully, I mean, we can see them both into one same space, and we'll see what comes out of it.
Yeah,
Certainly,
I
maybe
was
something.
I thought it was absolutely. I just thought it was absolutely classic that he didn't even reply to the statement at all about cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
Nothing. Just like, yeah, ha ha
Yeah.
ha. Let's get together and do an interview.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to set you up to do this anyways, but you attacked me. But I still want to do this interview. So,
Of course
pretty
he
interesting.
does.
Pretty
Of
fun.
course. Like
So,
why wouldn't he? But Charles
of
won't
course,
hold
why
back,
not?
man.
Let's.
If you've been in any of the spaces, Charles does not hold back. Like if he really dislikes something or someone,
No, he doesn't.
he will voice it. He will voice it. So that would be very interesting. I would love to see that interview. I got to be honest.
I would too. It would be a great interview. Guys, let us know in the chat. What do you guys think? Would you like to see an interview between old Charlie and Ben, formerly known as BitBoy, who's now again BitBoy? Let us know down there in there. And guys, if you haven't done so yet, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you're new here. Let us know that you guys like this content. Helps the algorithm, helps us out. We appreciate you guys. Let's jump over here to this article because we had something happen last week that has not happened yet with the ETF money. For the first time last week, after weeks of inflows, global crypto funds saw a record net outflow of nearly $1 billion last week. And if we get down here, it says crypto investment products witnessed record outflows last week, $942 million to be exact, exiting the EFTs globally. According to CoinShares, this represents the first week net outflows witnessed following 7 weeks of inflows totaling over $12.3 billion. So here's the question that I got, and I found the answer in another article. I said, okay, that's a lot of outflows, but we really haven't dumped on Bitcoin at all. Like it hasn't been a major pullback. It hasn't been a major crash. If we went from all of this buying to an opposite, like for example, if last week we had an inflow of $1 billion and this week we had an outflow of $1 billion, that's a $2 billion difference. You got to look at it of the positive and negative over the zero line, right? It's $2 billion difference. So who is buying all of this? Guys, I know who's buying all of this. It would be BlackRock. BlackRock has flipped OKX and Kraken on its Bitcoin holdings. It is now rivaling exchanges on how much Bitcoin it has. There may have been a lot of outflows last week, but BlackRock is absolutely what's holding up the price right now. It's not retail. There might be some retail, minced in there a little bit. But for the most part, this is institutional money. It is BlackRock grabbing up Bitcoin as much as they can, on top of Michael Saylor grabbing it up as much as they can. So let's go back to the TriCam. Let's talk about this, and then we'll show the Bitcoin chart, see what happened over the weekend and where we're heading this weekend, because you guys are probably wondering, what is that critical level? We're going to show you. Just stick around. What about this? Like, we saw all these inflows. That was the headline every week. And then all of a sudden we're getting this, hey, we had outflows of $1 billion. And then I find this other article, same day, talking about BlackRock now holds more Bitcoin than Kraken or OKX. Thoughts on this from you guys?
Yeah, has he outpaced or have they outpaced Michael Saylor yet? It wasn't that like one of the big competitions. Saylor was like, nope, hold my beer. And he kept buying.
They did, and then he bought more. I'm not sure who's in the lead right now on that.
It's funny. Did you see his like statement? It was like the winner is the one who owns more, period. He doesn't care. Like he is just trying to acquire as much as he can. But I think this is only the start for BlackRock. I think the next thing for BlackRock is they start going after the miners. I think that's going to be the next play. They want to own the whole process, kind of like Apple having an ecosystem. I feel like BlackRock wants to have it all, and at some point, it could even be an exchange that they go after.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
why
can
I
see
just had a
that.
thumbs down emoji.
I don't know either. Quit doing that. Quit giving yourself dislikes, man. Don't dislike
There you
yourself.
go.
We like you, TradeFly.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
You know,
The hat's
tinfoil
coming
hat.
out. That's getting a lot of love in
The
the
hat's
chat right
coming
now,
out.
man.
It is getting a lot of love in the chat. OC, what's your thoughts on this? Is this proof that institutional money is taking over Bitcoin, and all of us little tiny fish are going to be out here just trying to grab up whatever scraps of Bitcoin we can by next year because institutional money has it all. They're holding everything. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on here is that we should not be taking the eye out of what is our goal, right? I mean, it's absolutely certain that they're trying to bunch in as much as they can, as fast as they can, because they realize they are kind of late to the party, or at least they are late-ish to the party on some of us, right? But as long as we keep doing our due diligence and keep holding Bitcoin, accumulating, I believe that it's going to play out the best way possible for us. Nonetheless, eventually, as we talked about, for Bitcoin to become mainstream, it will have to be held by those big institutions that they promote the usual day-to-day money usage, right? So it is part of
Right.
the. I mean, it is part of the drill. It is expected. I don't like it. I mean, but it's just the way that it needs to go for it to happen, right? And this is kind of like an awakening because whatever happens to Bitcoin, we already know and have the power to make it straight, right? But that will be a tinfoil hat theory for up ahead.
Okay. Jump back over to my screen. I'm actually going to address that comment about they're catching up to the party late. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, this was a tweet from Ali, launched in mid-January 2024. So about 3 months ago, right? And now it holds more Bitcoin than the OKX and Kraken. Why did you do that? Go back. Stop it. Which launched in 2017 and 2011. So OKX 2017, Kraken 2011. You can see down here on the list, they have surpassed OKX and Kraken. The only ones they have ahead of them is Gemini, Coinbase, and Bitfinex. So if these companies that started like as far back as 2011 and as far back as 2017 are now being surpassed by BlackRock, who just started in 2024, I wouldn't say that they're showing up late to the party. I would say that they did a grand entrance and just cannonballed in the middle of that room. Like everyone was sitting there partying, and all of a sudden, like this 50-foot cartoon Looney Tunes limo pulls up out front, and this 6,000-pound gorilla squeezes out of the door and then walks in and just grabs the door to open it and removes the whole front of the building to walk in. Like, I wouldn't say that they showed up late to the party. I would say that they showed up fashionably and in style and just crashed this party. And they're taking people's lunch right now. So we can jump back over to the TriCam.
Yeah, we need to get over to the chat, man. Check out the chat right now. I'm getting some love. Alex O sending a super chat. Yeah.
We got a super chat from Alex O. My family, lots of love from the Otter gang. Yep. Go for it, bro. You got it. You brought us over here. You take it.
Oh no, I wanted to make sure we got to it. Crypto Seth in the house. Keep up the great work. He sent a super chat. AED10. Might have to look that up. I'm not very good with all the different dollars there. You might have to explain that one to me. But hey, dude, thank you. We really appreciate that. Let's see who's on
Absolutely.
the chat.
Can we get that party horn?
Yeah.
Let's get that party horn here. There we go.
I got you.
Yeah, that's my alumni.
I know my emojis.
You know what I mean?
I know my emojis are working. Let's see that party time.
Awesome.
Let's go. But yeah, for real.
We appreciate it, man.
Alex O, for real, like we have built like a little relationship thanks to Piper, but he's been an amazing like person, friend, and just someone that's helped us out with the show. much love to him. But yeah, in the chat too, let's say what's up to a couple people. FD White, how you doing, my friend? He's out there traveling the world right now, enjoying life. We got Alexander G, Crypto Seth. Again, thank you very much for your donation as well. Truly appreciate it. Justin Eubanks, Blackie Chan, Gia S, got Dave P, ZTS, your boy in the background, Crux, always doing good things. Get over there and start watching his videos too. We need to make those things pop. Trade Intuition, he is always in the chat, pumping the chat. Like sometimes he goes through and does these like 2-minute long emoji things. He's awesome. He's been a great friend of the show as well. It's awesome seeing him grow. So go ahead, check him out. Who else we got? Going through. We got French Toaster. Hola, what's up, my friends? Mellow Fellow, C90 FTW for the win, right? I guess that's what he's saying.
Yeah, we got all the alumni.
Hey, Lunar
here.
Beaches Crypto, my boy. His son just had a birthday too last week. Awesome. So yeah, just wanted to give a couple shout outs to the chat. Say what's up because you guys are the reason we do this, and we truly appreciate you.
Fact. All right, let's jump over to my chart, and let's give these people what they want to see because they want to know what that thumbnail is. What's that critical level? So let's go jump over to my chart and check this out, guys. So on Friday, we were in this nice little downtrend here, and I said we could be coming in to make this inverse head and shoulders. We'll show that in a second. But I said if we lose the value area low, that's going to be a bad spot. That's going to go into TradeFly's no-no zone. And so take a look here what happened. We literally wicked perfectly on that value area low there and then got a bounce back up. Let's jump over and take a look at that inverse head and shoulders pattern and see how it is looking on here because this is what we did. We were up here. We were coming down. We lost the point of control. That's that dashed red line across there. I said we likely would be creating another shoulder, and it will be invalidated if we break that value area low and head down to the 0.66 of the golden pocket. That is not what happened. We did not invalidate it. We now have made that other shoulder, but right now we're fighting to get above the neckline right here. On top of that, we are also at critical resistance of the 786 of the platinum pocket here. What I'm going to be watching for is this, and you guys can see if we get this rejection here and we're not able to break that neckline of that head and shoulders and we're not able to get above the 786, what could we be looking at? Well, I've got a box down here. If you guys are curious what this box is, shout out to TA Tim. That's his T boxes there. I threw a little rectangle on there. That is where I think we will likely be seeing Bitcoin retrace to this week. Why would we be going down to that level? That's a great question, OC. Let me show you why. If we jump over here and we pull up the BTC1, this is CME futures. We have a massive gap coming in right down here at about 63,750. That also would coincide for confluence right here for another touch in the dynamic reactor from the chart prime, a dynamic reactor there. And that would also give us another little higher high. If we go and see how that would look on Bitcoin and we come back to here and take a look, I've got a couple of trend lines in here that are going on. For one, we did have this long-term trend line here that was touch points with multiple touch points. We had one here, we had one here, and then the start off of it. We have broken that, and there's a beautiful retest to the dynamic reactor and that trend line right there that we pulled back above from the 4-hour close, and we are breaking up from that. What I do want to point out, though, is that we have two other trend lines, one that we're breaking out of also right now. So is it guaranteed that we're going to close a gap? No, guys. About 15% of the time, we do not close CME gaps. But if we do pull back, that is the area that I am watching for on this, because as we speak, we are breaking that long-term trend line right there. We are breaking out of this trend line right there. And on top of that, we are also pushing above the neckline of the head and shoulders. So we have three bullish pattern breakouts here with a CME gap competing against it for downside. I think that we're going to see a decent week, but if we do pull back again, be watching for that level about 64,300, 63,800 down there. That is going to be the CME gap. If we touch there, hit that dynamic reactor and move to the upside, we're going to be looking good. Now, how does this play out for altcoins? Because I want to show this real fast before we start passing this around. Altcoins, if we jump over here, we've got this little thing. This is the total three. This is all altcoins minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. You can see that we had a long-term trend line here also previously. We've broken out of that. We started the trade down it as support, getting all that bounce off of it. But in the same period, we created this nice little broadening wedge. We have broken out of that also as of yesterday afternoon and moved to the upside on alts. So I think that we can really see alts begin to pop off, which we started to see already on the crypto bubbles this morning. I think you're going to see a lot of good action this week, especially as we head into Friday, looking at that PCE data coming in lower than it was previously. And if we even beat the consensus and forecast, guys, I think we close that with a really good week on Bitcoin. But I want you guys to be aware of that CME gap. That is the thing that could bring us right back down from these levels of rejection. Let's go check out TradeFly's liquidation chart. I want to see what he's got on there. And then we will get into some TA with you guys. What you got on there, TradeFly?
Yeah, man. So I got the liquidation heat map up, but I am going to follow up on your TA because I'm going to piggyback it a little bit, kind of like we were talking about pre-show, of how there's different ways to get to the same place. But I'm actually going to close out a trade here in a minute as well, because it's getting up to the area I was looking at. So, all right, so let's look at this on the 3-day. So this is BTC liquidation heat map. You can see there was some hotspots here. This is why we watch it, right? Because a lot of times price likes to chase liquidity. You'll hear me say that over and over again. So you had some hotspots that cleared out the liquidity, and now we're starting to build up some liquidity right here. So you can see, hundreds of millions of dollars, probably all said and done. It's probably getting close to about $1 billion right there, just underneath of 68,000, all the way up to about 68,000 itself. So that's an area I'd keep an eye on, especially for some sort of wick to clear out that liquidity. The maker always likes to get his, and that's areas that I always watch. Anything that's really close to the price action is where I would expect the price to at least wick up to and touch to clear that out. So that's a hot spot. I mean, you can come down here, but again, that's not as hot, right? So this is the key area for me right now. So going over to Bitcoin, and I want to look at that. And the reason I want to look at this real quick is because I actually did open a trade, and it was based on the 200 SMA. So if you guys are in the Discord, I was talking about that as well. The 200 SMA and the 100 SMA are two key areas, right? We've kind of found a range here. We're kind of pogoing back and forth. If you take everything out of here and don't pay attention to all the gook in the middle, 200, 100, 200, 100. We're at the 100 right now. Now, if you guys know how I like to play it, what I'll do is I'll find a key area of support right here, 0.5, as well as the 200 SMA. That's my play. I entered a long position. I actually use Coinbase, and I use the futures contract. So I'll let you know how that experience goes. But right now, I'm about to close this trade. The reason I'm about to close it is because we are now getting up to the 100 SMA. I am not saying it's not going to continue to go up. It's just the way I like to trade. It's very conservative. I get in at a support area. I get out of resistance area. That's just my game. But I want to point that out to you that we are now right here testing an area that has held up as resistance. We had that big breakdown off of the 100 as well. So that's a key area for me. So just want to point that out to you.
Hey,
Awesome.
also,
Jump over to your chart real. Yeah, what's up?
so when you were doing TA Piper, I saw the candle that was currently active break the 0.786, and also in chat from Bit Innuendo, they're saying Bitcoin's breaking out.
Yeah, it's breaking above. It's breaking
Yeah, we can see it.
outside of all those trend lines, and then it's also breaking above the inverse head and shoulders right now. I'm on Clean Spark. Sorry, Eric Wallen. Shout out to you. I'm looking at our Clean Spark pumping. Yeah, it's breaking above that inverse head and shoulders right now. Also, so yeah, absolutely getting a pump right now on Bitcoin. There is $68,000 Bitcoin, guys. We've got a lot of assets. So let's go ahead, jump over to OC. OC, do you have anything to add to the Bitcoin, or do you want to get into the altcoins? We've got a lot moving right now. Let's go. Let's keep this rolling.
Perfect.
I'm going to actually close out this trade while you guys do that.
Yeah, go close out of your trade while OC gives his breakdown here.
Absolutely. So let's just take a look at the Wyckoff pattern here that I was talking about previous week. As you can see, going down a little range, V-shaped recovery, and then we calculated the shape of the range, right? That gives us usually 70% chances of that range. And we were calculating it right here. And as you can see, it went playing out very, very nicely. So let me clear things up a little bit in this area. So our support and resistances are giving us the heads up on where would the range be. Nonetheless, you can see going down right here, little range, and then V-shaped recovery. As you can see, we were marking the area of the range to bounce from. Why? Because we have some support and resistance at that area. We went back down. We went back down to this calculated area right here at this box. Why? Because again, we have an order block right down there, a very juicy order block, and now we bounce up. So I do believe that we could be having right now a little bit of goose candy here playing out. So we could be seeing maybe the spring, or what I call the spring, which is this SOS area. If we can make it past the previous high, going back for support, and then flip up, we're gonna be seeing the next bull run on this area. So if we do this, we could be doing a continuation of this movement. So that's the only thing I wanted to show. So far, looking bullish. Nonetheless, we are at resistance. So I'm not buying at resistance. I only buy at support. I sell at resistance. So yeah, that's what I got. I also want to move on with the altcoins. Quant looking beautiful, going with that breakout. Look at that same pattern here, going down little range. There we go. Going for that V-shaped recovery, that range, going for the spring, and off we go. So hopefully this will be repeated for Bitcoin. So far, how far can it go? I will be betting that we're going to be reaching all the way to this next resistance at 153, because we have basically nothing in between. And then the next one, we got it here on the predictive ranges with 157.7. So far, looking at that area for a possible resistance or rejection, if we can make it through this gray line, which is the only thing that is getting in between the way of keep moving up, because we are bullish and also we are not ranging. So that's what I got for you guys. Turning it back to you.
Awesome. TradeFly, what you got for us on the alt side, bro?
Let me pull it up. Let's go ahead and go to MATIC. Sorry, man.
Sorry.
I was legit actually closing that trade. Cool. Let's take a look-see at MATIC. All right, so we got over the all-important $1 mark here, but we do have a lot of the moving averages kind of coinciding here. So we got the 200, the 100, you got the dynamic reactor. So really, we still have a lot of resistance up here, especially in the 107 area. You can see that was previous support and resistance. So you got to be careful with this area right here. I would expect it's going to be hard. So, you know, a lot of the coins are moving pretty hard right now. MATIC is not. So that's not ideal. Looking at the prime oscillator, though, it is going up and right, but it does look like it wants to bend over. So if you get that push up, you know, it might be a little bit late to the party. You're going to have a big fight here in the 107. Once it actually gets to that, let's go ahead and pull up the chemtrails. Let's see what we got here. Oh, that's not ideal. Right there at 106. Yep, let them fly, baby. Right there at 106, you do have some volume coming in. Yeah, I see. You got the volume coming in at about 106, just kind of lining up with all of that. So that's going to be a tough area. That's going to be a really tough area. Hopefully we find some kind of support here. You might see something come up like this, come back, retest, and then shoot up. But we got to break this area. And I think it's probably going to take at least one touch, probably have a little rejection here in this area. So again, $1, always an area for you to look for. It's a psychological number. And then 106 to 107 is going to be an area of resistance. If we pump through that, then, you know, we could find, you know, some clear sailing right up here to about 115. That's probably going to be your next area where you'll find a little bit of resistance. And that's just based, again, on previous support and resistance. So unfortunately, overall trend, you know, I could say actually overall trend is probably still bullish. Let me zoom out a little bit. It's not beautiful, but look at here. If you come on the daily, you got support here on the dynamic reactor, of course, 100-day SMA, and then it did get off of it. Look at the volume that came in with this area. So that's good. I think overall trend is still bullish. The good news is that we took we'll say a short-term trend. It did flip, right? It started coming down. It was a little bit bearish, but now we're starting to break above that. So we're actually kind of testing that area right here. So this is probably, again, this is a really key area to find out if we're going to reverse that short-term trend and then continue back up and right. So keep an eye on MATIC. Again, area of resistance is going to be about 106, 107 for you.
Awesome. Yeah, if you jump over to my chart real fast, I'm going to do a little something here that you guys never see.
Little something.
Little something, something. I'm looking at the daily here on Bitcoin. I'm going to get over to something else, but somebody in the chat just brought up something. It would be Bitcoin Innuendo, I believe his name is, about the green dot. Yeah, Bit Innuendo. There we go. He brought up about the green dot on Market Cipher, and while I do love my chart prime because that is the go-to indicator for me, it's what I use all the time. I do want to point out here on the Market Cipher B. Yep, you guys are going to see Market Cipher in here. This is the only other indicator besides chart prime that you'll ever see me use, ever. We do have a green dot here on the daily printing down here. It printed yesterday, it looks like. What we are watching here is we got the green dot that printed on this candle here for yesterday's daily close. If we go back and we look at what happened in the past when we get a green dot from down after, this is after it comes down on a high wave of momentum and then down from a lower wave of momentum, okay? When we get that green dot print, where we had one there, that was a lead up to that. Let's go back a little further. We had one here, but you see it's not a very deep one. And it just kind of went sideways there and it wasn't little move there, but not a lot. But if you go back here and look at these ones back here, guys, this pretty much was calling out the bottoms when we got these green dot prints down here. We have another one that printed yesterday, and now it's coming up. But something that I want to point out is that we also got on Chart Prime's Oscillator Pro that ribbon flip coming down from below also on the daily. This is super bullish, in my opinion, when you have a green dot on Market Cipher and you have a ribbon twist on Chart Prime's Oscillator Pro ribbon here. The last time that we had this, if we go back to that one that I was talking about here, you can see that we had the ribbon twist 1 day prior to the green dot on Market Cipher. So both of them within 2 days, within a day of each other, given that indication. And if we come to the other one that I just showed you right here, we also had that ribbon twist taking place on the same day. So within 24 hours of each other, when these print like this, we do tend to get those moves. Look at what we just had here now. We have the green dot yesterday, and we have the ribbon twist that took place yesterday. Again, within 24 hours, I do think we could see a decent move come off of this if we can break through that value area high at about 69,804. So I just wanted to point that out there. Shout out to CryptoFace. I have my lifetime membership over there with Market Cipher also. But yeah, Chart Prime giving me a lot of the same indications when I see the two of them speaking the same language. That language says money, baby. That's what it says to me. So let's jump over here, take a look real fast at what I'm seeing here on MicroStrategies today, though, guys. Bitcoin moving up. We got MicroStrategies up 11.4% today. CleanSpark up 11.7% today in comparison to my Bitcoin 2% move. So shout out to crypto miners, mining stocks out there like Eric Wallen. CleanSpark doing well, and my MicroStrategies doing really well also. Just wanted to get that shout out there on those. And then lastly, I want to jump over, take a look at Casper real fast, and then we're going to come back and do some ICP. So whoever has ICP, let me know who it is, and we will get you rolling with it. ICP right now doing or Casper, awesome. Casper doing a beautiful retest right now on that phase 7 golden pocket coming in at 14.5 cents. Also on top of that, it has retested the dynamic reactor. We had a nice clean breakthrough with no retest. We have now retested those. Casper looking poised to move to the upside from here. We do have a little pinch of the ribbon coming here, so maybe it's going to come back and retest the zero line. But right now, Casper looking pretty good. We were telling you guys to get in on Casper for some entries. We're on my arrows. There we are. Turn those on. Bam, bam, bam. The two of the three got picked up. We were looking for the bottom one being at 11.2 cents. Didn't hit that one. We hit two of those, and that has been a beautiful ride up for us. We did get a reversal print here on Chart Prime back here on the 21st here, giving us that downside. But we have since then re-rallied and have moved back up. Now clean retest at the phase 7618. So that's what I got there. Let's kick it over to TradeFly. He's got some ICP for you guys. Then we're going to come back around. OC, get something ready for the fellas.
Absolutely.
All right. So looking at ICP on the daily, the reason I have it up kind of zoomed out is because I'm kind of looking for some areas where I can find support and resistance. So you want to find some clear areas, something like this, where you see support, you also see resistance, right? So kind of walk you guys through the process because I didn't already have it up. So I'm looking for an area right here, and this is an area I'm going to mark. Then I'm looking here, right? I see an area of support. I see an area of resistance, and I see a big breakdown, all right? Another key area for me to look at. So let's go ahead and pull that up just so you guys can kind of see the process. And then one of the things I do to kind of back check myself too is I'll bring up the chart prime, the dynamic support and resistance zones. This is the one that, you know, we call the chemtrails here, and just to kind of see if I see any confluence. Well, it doesn't actually go all the way back here on this one, right? This is actually a pretty long time frame. So what you can see right here, what it's picking up is not actually the volume from over here. All the volume that you see on the right side is actually pretty much on the right side here. So I'd probably have to extend the time frame. So you will see right now we are at an area, a pretty significant area. And the reason I say it's significant is because you see all the volume that came in when it was blue. All right, so let's go to the 4 hour. So here's two areas for you guys to watch. Just one, about $18 and about $23. And that's just based on going back left on the chart. Again, my biggest indicator for me is where do you see breakdowns? All right, you see this, you got that retest, boom, breaks down, comes up, retest this area, boom, breakdown. All right, so for me, that's where I like to key in on areas that I think I'm going to see some sort of resistance. So let's go to the 4 hour. Let's look a little more short term now that we have something that's kind of zoomed out. And then you can see right here on the 4 hour chart, look, we have a trend line that's going up and right. We are getting multiple touches on that. We did talk a little bit about this on the show last week, that we were finding this area of support. That's probably a good play there, and little confirmation here on the prime oscillator showing you, hey, this could be going up. It did. And I think where we actually talked about it on the show, if I'm looking at the time frame right, was right about here. So we're fighting with all this confluence right here. You had the 200, the 100, I mean, everything, dynamic reactor, like it was all here. You did see a cross up on the 20 and the 50, and then this thing just pumped. It just pumped to the moon. But this is where we were talking about it. And this is where we were saying, hey, keep an eye on this. If it breaks this area, we could see a nice move up. It did. I will be honest with you. If I were to have played this, this is the area I would have been looking at, obviously, because there was a nice rejection here. So it did come up. Look, it tested that area and it said, nope. And it got on top of it. So this is a really key area right now, because what it could be doing is trying to flip what was resistance into support. So let's go ahead and make this green. All right, now it's trying to see if we're going to get that continuation up and right. Here's the issue. We now have a significant area of resistance coming up right here. This is definitely an area that I'm going to be looking at, but you're also getting some overbought indications on the prime oscillator. This thing's pretty heated, right? So like it's got to cool off at some point. For me personally, high side target in the short term is going to be 18. We really got to keep an eye on this area at about 17. If it breaks down, there's no telling. I mean, like you see the gap here, you can just see it in the price action, right? So it could very much fall down, especially into this area here, probably at about 15 or so. I would expect it to pull back if it does fall through that area. So two things for you to look at. One, we want to hold over this area. If you can get some kind of confirmation, what you need to see is the oscillator start to bend back up. And then you're going to see something where it's struggling in this area. But once you start seeing that pattern build back up, or the oscillator start build back up, then you would be looking for a move up to about right here. But again, that's going to be resistance. If we break down, then what you're going to start seeing is a reverse on the prime oscillator, where that starts to make its way kind of like down like this. All right, you'll be looking for that pattern. And then that's pretty much going to guarantee you're going to come down to about 15. So that's what I'm looking at on ICP. Hopefully you guys were paying attention here where we covered it on the show and got into that, because that was a nice move of about 26%. So that's what I got on ICP.
That's sweet. Hey, can you go to TriCanva real fast for me, Zach? Because I'm getting a lot of people in here talking about they want the Bitcoin bullish song, they want the pump song, and we're about to hit $69,000.
We partying? You know I'm about to party.
Now. We're about to do this, guys. Let's go ahead. Kick it over to my screen, Zach. Let's go. Let's get it. We're going to do it for the people, man.
Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up.
Yeah, Bitcoin is moving really good right now, guys. It is getting some moves right now. About to hit that $69,000 range, coming in at 68.7 right now. Of course, this video is demonetized. Shout out to Alisto Crypto because this is his gameplay. I am running with this. Let's get it.
You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know?
Guys, let me know in the chat. Do we hit 70K a day? Let me know if we're going to hit $70,000 a day in the chat, guys.
You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up.
68,950. Let's go. We're gonna break
Don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know?
You remember that guy, the Bitcoin Next? Love that guy.
Don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up.
Oh my goodness, that clean start candle right now, man.
Power to undermine everything they're doing to people around the world. And
All
I'm
right.
sorry for
There we go, guys. We had a little party. We got it going. It moved.
Yeah, we did.
It moved, guys. We got Bitcoin moving up there. It is at 69,000, 68,800 right now, 877 to be exact. It is moving. So shout out to everybody in the chat.
hilarious.
Little party
They
for you.
waited
Demonetize
for
the
me
show
to just
today. Why
to close
not?
my trade. They were like, "Oh, TradeFly closed
it
his
did.
trade. He's been taking advantage
It's
of the
safe
range.
now.
Pump
Let's
it.
put it in there.
Hey, pump it, please." That's all right.
We
I got a
just
good
tapped
15%
69K.
off that trade.
We just tapped 69K for a second there. Yeah, it's doing good, man. It's doing
Nice.
good. Shout out to everybody that's winning
Nice.
right now. Shout out to the alumni. I love the alumni.
Yeah,
Hit that
that's my
button, Zach.
alumni. You know what I mean?
That's right. All right, OC, what you got for us, man? We got about 13 minutes. Give us some quick altcoin TA here, and we'll take a look at what you got.
Absolutely. I have GRT, looking at GRT because of what was breaking right now. Nonetheless, we are in a big resistance area right here. Right now, we are getting constrained a lot in this candle. So you're going to be seeing my spaghetti in a second. But look at that. We have a resistance in here, and we have a soft order block. And at the bottom, we have another soft order block with a dynamic reactor. As you can see, we're bouncing between those areas. Our consolidation score is 8, highly consolidated, but at the end of the consolidation, so we should be seeing a breakthrough. My speculation in this coin is that we're going to be breaking to the upside. And why is that? Because we have another soft area right down here. And also because the dynamic reactor is a big support area. So despite they both are kind of almost equally, I would say that because we are also very bullish and we are above the zero line in here, we're pushing a little bit more to the upside on that strength. So I believe that we will be at least getting at the top of this soft order block and basically just getting rid of that order block absorbing or getting all of that liquidity. So let me show you my my analysis in here. We were looking at this downtrend channel, and not only that, we added a couple of alerts in here, right? Remember that these lines in here are just slightly shifted above and below the channel, just to give you that slight wiggle room. And then I was looking for this head and shoulders playing out right here on the oscillator. What it ended up happening, it was that breakout, but it was slightly before like that. So I was a little wrong on a couple of candles, maybe 4 or 5 candles, and then we flip back up. after breakthrough, and we are breaking through that trend line. So looking closely to this area because we could be having a pullback, but if we can keep pushing forward, we could be seeing GRT also going for the retest and pushing forward. But that's what I got.
Very nice. I'm dropping a link here for someone in the chat asking about how far we think it could go, and I've got the video here for him in the chat. I just dropped it right there for you, man. He asked how high do we think Bitcoin can go? I said we just talked about 75K incoming last week. If you mean long term, check out this video right there in the link. So that is what we got there on that. I want to jump over and take a look at the WALLIN chart. Shout out to Eric Wallin. If you share my chart, there we go. Bam, we're on it. We talked about last week, and I said I really would like to see what would make me feel bullish would be if we closed this inside the golden pocket, guys. If we take a look at where that 75K was coming from on here, it was because where we were at last week, it was going to be, I guess it was about 2 weeks ago, we were talking about it. It was going to be the top of the golden pocket. That golden pocket top now is now coming in at about $80,000 on Bitcoin, guys. So staying inside this golden pocket, we closed that candle above it on the weekly here. On the long term, did not get a weekly close. We did exactly what I was hoping we could do, is close the week above it in the golden pocket, and that would give us room to move to the upside. That upside now coming in at 80K. So that's what I wanted to show there on that. Let's go ahead, kick it over to TradeFly. We still got about 9 more minutes. Let's get another altcoin in. Some of those movers that we were talking about today on that side of the aisle was going to be some like Quant, and what else was there? AGIX, Fetch, stuff like that. So let me pull up my Bitcoin bubbles here, crypto bubbles. There we go. And let's see what we have working here. We've got Arweave coming up pretty good right now. I'll take a look at that, and you can grab whatever you want to grab. Ondo is at 18.9. I don't know if you're interested in that one, TradeFly. Let's kick it over to the TradeFly.
I got Cock Inu up. So that on the 4-hour chart. Yeah.
Got a little Viagra in its system, did it? Let's go. Let's see what
there it is. All right. So looking at this on the 4-hour chart, you can see it did find some support here on the 0.5, the Fibonacci retracement tool. All I did was go low to high, and it was that simple. Look at that, man. It pretty much nailed it. 0.5 is a pretty significant area to find support, as well as the 618. But you can see here, looking at the 200 SMA, like that's rising up and right. So, I mean, it's just pushing up pretty hard. Now you're starting to look at the 20 and the 50 days starting to cross again, right? So that is probably good news as you see it kind of fight with the 382 for finding support here. And that's at a whole bunch of zeros and a 4-3. We're just going to leave it at that for now, right? So it was fighting here. And then what you got was OC's old twist of the ribbon. And now the prime oscillator is starting to work up and right. So that's good news, right? That's what you kind of want to wait for. You see multiple touch points and area support, and then you start seeing it build strength. Obviously, that correlates to Bitcoin and its move as well, but it's pushing up, and it's pushing up pretty good now. So where can we find resistance, right? So here, support, obviously, at all kinds of zeros and 4-3, but now we're looking up in this area with all these zeros and probably about 5 to 5-1 is an area I would be looking for some sort of resistance, and just kind of going back, looking left on the chart as well. That would make sense, right? So obviously you see this one here is pretty clear, that touch right there. But looking at it, you can see some support right here as well, but it's really kind of a zone with this one. It's not super clear, but there is a lot of support right here. So I do think that this is actually a pretty good line, and I would say that this fib retracement, the way it's drawn right now, is pretty nice. You want to see these support and resistance areas kind of line up. So support and support here. Now I do think we'll find resistance up here at about 5-1. So I'm not saying you have to get out of it, but right now the overall trend still is up and right. You do have this coming down here, but all you're doing is set a series of higher lows. That's one thing that you want to look for. So if you're looking at it, the trend is still up and right, baby. This thing is going up so far, and I don't have any reason for it not to until we start breaking this, right? So we did start building this kind of downward pressure here, but now we are really flipping it. It'll really take off, I think, when it breaks this area. So that'll be where you'll find resistance at about a bunch of zeros and a 5-1. But when we break that, if we break that, then you're probably going to see this thing really take off. So keep an eye out for that, but that's what I got on Kakinu pretty quick.
Sweet. Jump over to my screen. I've got R-Weave. We're going to knock this one out, and if we have time, we'll squeeze in a short one, OC. Short one. If not, we'll talk it out.
Yep.
But I'm watching R-Weave right now, guys. You can see that R-Weave did have a nice little pullback here. We got a reversal indicator that printed. We came all the way down, got a little bit of a pump, and then it came down. Ultimately, all candle closes coming in on the 4-hour dynamic reactor from Chart Prime's indicators here. That was our bottom. That was our support level, and then we are moving up right now. Right now, though, you can see that we are getting some wicking coming on this 4-hour candle. What could this be from? Well, let's jump over here into my indicators, and let's throw on this local fib. That is going to be the golden pocket right now. You can see these previous test points here of resistance. We are now pulling back in there right now in the golden pocket. We'll have to get above that in order for me to stay bullish. However, if I pull up and put on the fixed range volume profile, you will see that right now we are sitting right above this line. That is the value area high. Our point of control was where we tested down here just above the 382 for that move to the upside. I would be watching if we reject out of the golden pocket and that value area high, a retest of the 50 here, that would give us another higher low in this short-term local pattern. Or trend, I should say. And then also, if I throw on a macro fib, this is going all the way back to like its all-time high to its local low. Let's turn off the local fibs, and you'll see that right now we are above that 382. If we are able to hold that value area high and get above that golden pocket, the platinum pocket's coming in currently right now between $43.70, $45.50. That would be our next level of resistance there. And then ultimately, our 1-to-1 here on the local fib is going to be coming in on the 50. We have to get through that. I would not be surprised to see a rejection on that 50 for a retest on some of these other local fibs here, like the platinum pocket, before continuation up there. But we got to get above that golden pocket and stay above that value area high. If we take a look at the oscillators, what we're seeing here, we do have an overbought box here that has printed, and we are sitting pretty high on the RSI Prime. Would not be surprised to see a rejection here, retest of that 50 at 38.50, and then up to the upside off of that 50% fib. OC, let's kick it over to you. You got about 2 minutes, bro. Run it.
Absolutely. Perfect. Let's take a look at NOS. I was looking at NOS with this triangular patterns and a breakout, basically just pairing one to each other. And then we have the third one. Remember, the third one is the charm. And look at that, breaking it. This was my prediction of breakout. I did not enter right there on that prediction. I entered a little bit slightly low in here, and I did take some out right here. Why? Because we were heading to this soft order block. Nonetheless, I still have 50% in, and I'm going to be holding it because it's looking juicy. And if we start measuring the movements between those triangular patterns, we're going to get a measured move, all right, about 7.42. So that is since the point I've entered, because that is from the point I'm going to be considering all the way here. I have a 51.74% movement to the upside, no leverage. All right, so looking juicy, looking pretty good. The only thing I'm not liking it is that we have an overbought golden box in here. Nonetheless, if we can make a duck face or a goose head like this one, or even like that one, we could be looking at a possible run out of the predicted target or the measured target. So that's what I got, guys. Let's start to try them.
Awesome. Yeah, come back to my screen real fast. I'll just show people where we are right now on Bitcoin before we head out. We are at over the $69,000 range. We are coming up on that value area high, guys. That value area high coming in at 69,783 right now. We have got to get above that for continuation. If not, watch for that rejection, possible retest back onto the platinum pocket as support before we head back up. Back to Tricam. Let's close this out. Guys, what do you got for the people? We had a great show today, and I love all of the super chats and the alumni. Shout out to everybody in the chat. What do you guys got for them?
Yeah, as always, it's awesome having you guys here in the chat. We really love mixing it up with you guys. It's a lot of fun too, man. I love doing the little dance parties. You know, it gets me going in the morning before I do my fiat mining. So yeah, as always, truly appreciative of all you guys. Truly appreciative of the super chats, and thank you for being here every day. So I'm outie.
OC.
I love the CTS suggestion. I'm gonna try to make maybe a Solana change spaghetti coin. That would be great. I don't know if you guys wanted to see it. Please let us know if that is a reality. I might be trying to make it. Never done any, but well, just for fun. So other than that, thank you guys. Smash that like button and let's run another server now. Piper,
let's do it. TradeFly, first time you're hearing this, tomorrow morning, I'm not available on the show. I'm going to be going scuba diving. We'll talk more after the show on that. But, guys, thanks for joining us today on Piper Academy. We appreciate you guys always. We will be back here tomorrow morning. TradeFly OC. Never know who's going to show up on this show, but they're going to be here tomorrow giving you guys all of the alpha, the news, the charts, the markets, everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Till then, guys, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. TradeFly, get the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. Sound off to get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean.
That was awesome, dude!